What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode number 248 of Some Shit We Like. I'm Mike. This is Rick. Sorry, go ahead, introduce yourself.
I'm Rick, damn it.
All right. Dang. You asked me to introduce the show, and then you step all over it.
I don't know, I just figured you were going to play, and then you're going to make... That's my cue to say...
Oh, God damn it.
Stuff out of my mouth.
Okay. So I'm back this week. Bryce is not with us this week.
Yeah.
Seems to be, like we always say, it seems to be a running theme where if one of us is here, the other one isn't. Rick's always here.
I'm always here.
He's the glue that holds this podcast together.
Hell yeah, I am.
Yeah. He's like the super glue you can get at the Dollar Tree, though. Like, it holds together, but just barely.
I'll allow it.
I didn't say you fail. I said you hold it together, but just barely.
I'm not name brand. I'm off brand.
Yeah, you passed. You
but
know what you got?
sometimes the off brand is better than the name brand.
F+.
All right.
All right, so we got some stuff to talk about today. I'm going to do a live unboxing. Do you want to do that first? Or do you want to do it at the end? It's going to be a weird
show today.
Yeah.
But first, tell us how they can find us and stuff.
Oh, yeah. If you want to engage with us, you can do that on Twitter at Some Shit We Like. YouTube is at / Some Shit We Like, right? And SSWL Network on Instagram,
Twitch,
and Twitch.
And I think that's it.
Yeah.
And then we post the shows every Tuesday through Friday. Full audio show goes up on Tuesdays. Clips of the show goes up Tuesday through Thursday, but Friday is a full show. Yeah. So if you want to watch the entire thing, that would be cool. Or if you want to watch just clips, because sometimes, life happens.
Yeah. Or if you just, like you said, Tuesday is the full audio version of the show. If you don't want to look at our ugly mugs, just download that.
You got a long drive ahead of you? Just take us along with you. Yeah. We're down for that.
Faux show.
And bonus, sometimes I put clips on our Facebook that don't go up on YouTube.
Ooh, exclusive.
So you might want to like us over there.
Yep.
So with that being said...
Yeah.
Let's get into this shit.
Okay. How do you want to start?
So, Amazon announced Amazon Key.
I have no idea what this is.
You have no idea what this is?
No idea.
God, come on, man. What happened to your tech roots?
I've been very busy this week.
All right. I'll let it
Part
slide.
of a wedding. Wedding planning. I was wedding planner, which was pretty weird because it's not really my thing, but it got done.
Hey, the job got done, then it got done.
Yeah. So it's been a very hectic week this week for me.
I wonder if Amazon has that service. We'll plan your wedding.
Oh God, I bet they do. So what's Amazon Key? Tell me about it. Rick.
All right, so Amazon Key. So as you know, they have the tap and the echo and all that good stuff.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
So and they also, I don't know if you've heard, but they also have cameras too. They develop security cameras, kind of like Nest.
Okay.
And now, because you have cameras, you got your Echo, and people sometimes have Wi-Fi connected door locks, or even just, the Ring.
What's that other little unit they sell that's got a screen on it?
Oh, that's the, what is that called?
Anyway, they've got that too.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So all these things are interconnected, basically.
Basically, yeah. So pretty much like if you have a smart home, then perhaps this might be the service for you. So we all have, we have Prime.
Yeah.
So like, let's say you have this Amazon security little system, right?
Uh-huh.
And you ordered, let's say I ordered Mario Odyssey.
Oh, which you may or may not have done.
Yeah. And instead of dropping it right there on the floor where anyone can come and pick it up, if you have a smart lock, they'll unlock your door and they'll drop it right by your door. Close the door and it'll lock right back up.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
That is so bad. I know, because I'm only talking about this because I think, like, who the fuck would want this?
Yeah. And who would want to be the person that has to walk into somebody's house to put a box down?
I mean, I get the convenience of it, but you're only saving yourself, like, a turn of a knob.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess, okay. I mean, if you're not somebody who does everything online, if you still go grocery shopping, and you live alone, nobody's with you, and you don't want to make 2 trips to carry everything in your hand, and you could walk up to the door and it unlocks it, you go in. I can understand that. Same reason why keyless entry on cars became a big deal. That's what it was meant for. Was for people who have their hands full, don't want to get in, and
Right.
you have to put things down to open the door. So you got keyless entry on everything. Pops little actuators, pop the docks off, or pop the doors open and all that. So I can understand like the convenience factor, but it's also it's pretty useless. It's like having a heated toilet seat. It's like come on.
It's comfort. Yeah. This is not new. This is not a new service. I mean, there's apps out there like because I was listening to like the tech podcasts I listen to, and like there's services out there where they're like, if you do have those smart locks, like let's say you get something from a grocery app, where they go buy your groceries, and what they'll do is they'll unlock your door and actually put it away for you.
Fuck that.
I just think it's even more intrusive.
Yeah.
So
my refrigerator is fucking dirty. No, thank you.
Yeah. So they also say, well, if you want something clean too, you can actually order cleaning service through Amazon too as well. And they can unlock your door and come in. Is
Amazon Skynet? Everybody thought Google was Skynet. Is it Amazon?
Amazon is starting to sound like
Holy
Skynet.
Shit. Here's the key to my house. Come on in. I don't know. Make yourself comfortable, but vacuum for me, please. No thanks.
The thing with this, though, like you actually, there's a security package you have to buy for it. So you actually have a Amazon camera that's pointed at your door, and then along with your security, so that you can see, when they come and they open the door and drop it off. It also works as a security camera too, which is actually pretty cheaper than, I think it's cheaper than Nest.
I wonder what kind of insurance Amazon has to pay for that.
But I mean, you would think there'd be a big insurance coverage for something like that.
Yeah, I know they're a major company, and I know you have to have homeowners insurance also, but like you are willfully giving somebody access to your home, so you basically have no recourse.
Yeah, I mean, you're giving up your
right of refusal, man. Like, you're giving somebody access to your house.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how this could work in theory.
Yeah, for sure. On paper, looks really
it sounds
cool.
Smart. It sounds awesome. Like, I would love to come home and everything be already put away, or
dinner be started, or some shit like
something
that.
Ridiculous like that. But at the same time, like, we live in such a digital age now, and like with that smart lock like that, I'm sure thieves can hack their way into a lock. I mean, of course, they can just pick up a rock and smash through the fucking window too. But
why do that? Why go through that when it's so easy? Yeah, that's nuts, dude.
So yeah, not only that, like you also think about, you were talking about insurance just a second ago, and like, what if you have a cat, you open the door and the cat runs out and there it goes. It's an indoor kitty
or an indoor dog,
or a dog, or an indoor dog,
which people love more than cats because cats are the worst.
Of course.
Sorry, I had to slide my own agenda in there for a second.
And after 4 years of being here, the fucking neighbor's cat finally let me pet him.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And I was so happy.
Did you kick him after?
And it was very dirty.
Oh, that's why.
No, it actually sleeps like right outside the window there now.
Also, I'm just kidding. Don't kick cats. Cats are fine. It's like pineapple on pizza. It doesn't go there, but if you want it, you can have it. I don't care. It doesn't hurt me.
Pineapple on pizza is best.
It doesn't. We won't get into that.
That's another.
Let's move on. Smart key is insanely intrusive. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. You also kind of brought this up too, like me being a single person, like having, let's say, my own apartment.
Yeah.
Let's say, like I probably, depending where I live, I probably would be a little okay with this. I think it would take me some used to, just because like.
Just fucking, how about this? Just give me the smart key and I'll come over and pick up your packages for you and bring them inside.
I'll tell you now, I would not use this at all.
Yeah.
First of all. But I mean, I'm just trying to think through a perspective of how could this, like, is this something I can do? Honestly, no. But I can definitely see how some people would like this.
Yeah, again, everybody.
But again, it's just
there's something for everybody. Yeah, but.
And it maybe you have a neighbor who steals your shit, so would it be nice to have them toss it inside?
So here's what I'll say: I definitely had an issue like this, where nothing got stolen, but it was one of those things where this is going way back. So this is before Amazon was a big thing, so it was just standard. I had to buy it off a website and had it shipped through standard UPS or whatever it was, or FedEx or whatever. I'm an insane person, and I got a DDR dance mat for the PS2, but it was a metal, like high grade metal polycarb arrows, like super high end things. $200 I think at the time, or $250 at the time. But again, I'm an insane person, and it was well worth it. Plus, my now wife, but then girlfriend, was amazing enough and bought it for me for my birthday, and had it shipped to my house. So I'm not there when it comes. I was actually on a trip wrestling, and my grandparents were also not home. So it sat there for a day until I got and
That's scary.
and it's a big fucking box just sitting on our doorstep for a fucking day. So I could see why, I'm ordering this thing. It's an expensive thing. It doesn't have to be something gigantic to be expensive. It could be you order a laptop. You could order a laptop and have it shipped to you.
Yeah.
And you don't want your $2,000 gaming video editing laptop sitting on your fucking porch. So I can understand giving that, like, that's a thing, but I still don't think I would do it. I would just wait until I know I'm going to be there to receive the package.
Yeah. Yeah, I would even think so if it's something like I'm on vacation or something. I would rather like say, hey Bryce or hey Mike, can you guys
Can you go
pick up my laptop or something?
Pick up my whatever this package is for me, so it's not sitting outside. Yeah,
like before when I went to New York, was it last year?
Mm-hmm.
I ordered a laptop and I wasn't actually even sure it was gonna get here on time before I left, and luckily enough it did. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want it sitting out there.
Yeah, but in the case you weren't going to be here, I'm sure you would have.
Yeah, I would have arranged for someone to
either had your mom pick it up or call me to come pick it up or something, right?
Right, of course. But so like I could see how this could be useful.
Yeah,
but
there's definitely use cases out there for it,
yeah.
for sure. And to be honest, the people who have the fully decked out smart home are probably the same people that have these use cases on a very regular basis.
Yeah. And maybe it's not like an all the time thing either.
Yeah.
Like maybe, I don't know if it's a part of Prime or not, but like perhaps let's say you do have it. You don't have to use it.
Does that mean Prime prices are going to go up again?
I don't know if it's part of Prime. I don't think.
Okay, just
no.
Amazon.
Oh wait, exclusively for Prime members, only if they want it. That's only if you want it.
But so then, don't raise my Prime prices if it's optional, fuckers.
No, I think you have to buy into it.
Like
you have to have the smart key and the camera in order to buy into it. Otherwise, it doesn't look like.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Again, it's something that's on paper like, wow, we're fucking in the future. Mm-hmm. We're finally in the future. It's the fucking Jetsons. Like, we're finally there. But at the same time, think about the type of people around in the world. And I know not everybody's a terrible person, but I don't know the motherfucker delivering my packages. How do I trust that Amazon vetted these people properly?
Yeah, you have to put a lot of faith into Amazon.
And I don't think I can put that kind of faith into anybody but myself to give somebody access to my house.
You just have to have faith in Amazon, I guess. For them to do a good background check, just like with Uber or Lyft or.
I've used Uber once, but it was a group. It was a group of like 6 of us in a van. Like, so it didn't bother me because it was a whole group of us. It wasn't like me individually.
Right.
So I'm very weary about that shit still.
With Uber and Lyft?
Yeah, Uber and Lyft. My buddy Lawrence, he drives Lyft.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Which is pretty crazy. Like, the service that they have, you can go fucking rent a car from Lyft and drive for Lyft. And
oh, wow.
Yeah,
really?
They have cars that you, as a person, so if you don't want to use your car, you rent their car and then you drive. He does it. He had one for a month. He rented it for a month, and he had nothing else to do because he's using it as his main source of income. So all he does is drive. He made $1,000 in 1 week.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I told him, I said, bro, you better fucking set some aside because you have to file your own taxes on that.
Oh, that's true.
You're gonna end up owing money. You better set money aside because you are going to have to pay for that week. You did $1,000, dude. Woo! But yeah, he said he does that. Like, that's what he does. And Lawrence, like, he fucking hustles. So yeah, $1,000 in a week. He said he basically Ubered for 10-hour days.
Oh.
Or Lyft 10-hour days for the whole week, and was able
And
to
he
get
did that in
yeah.
10 hours?
Yeah,
Shit.
10 or 12 hours, something like that. It's not
Fuck,
bad, right?
It's not bad at all.
Look at Rick. He's like, man, fuck this thing. I think I might be a Lyft driver.
No, hell no. I'm
Yeah.
so tired of fucking driving. I probably would consider that
Yeah.
a while back, but now, nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm done with driving. But
Yeah.
yeah, this is pretty cool. I mean, it's a first world thing, obviously.
I just
but
don't think I could trust somebody to do
yeah,
that.
it's just you need to put some thorough like vetting into these people
Yeah.
before, like, you know, if they said like, you know, we'll have like military grade background checks or some shit like that. I don't know. Like, would that change your mind at all? Probably not.
No.
Yeah, I don't think it changes
Because
my mind
again,
either.
like I'm weird like that. I don't trust other people to do things like that. Like that's some highly sensitive shit.
It is. Yeah.
And
you know,
who knows?
That person could have an off day and say, fuck
Yeah.
it, I quit, and start stealing shit.
And through my own personal screening, I may not do as good of a job as Amazon, but I will see the person across from me and be able to gauge
Yeah.
how I feel about that person by talking to them. Like I don't even like when people come over. Like I don't know. I've had that new TV for about 4 years now, 3 or 4 years. So before that, my old Samsung TV, the HDMI connection broke
Right.
on the TV. So I had it through Circuit City, when Circuit City was still around. So and I got the warranty on it, and
Right.
it was one of those things. It's like, you know, because I got that TV in 2004. So it was HD, but it was only 1080i, and it was a Samsung
Yeah,
TV, so
I
it was
remember.
early HD, basically.
Yeah.
So I was like, who knows what's going to go wrong with this thing? Yes, I'll get the free, or the service. I'll get the service. So HDMI port broke, and somebody came out and fixed it. Or he came and assessed it, and he the first time he came, he was like, "Oh, you know, I'm just gonna check it out." And I was like, "Hold on." I've got my big old microfiber towel and laid it out on the bed. Put the TV, took the stand off, put the TV on, and said, "Okay, go ahead." And he was like, "Most people don't do that." And I was like, I take care of my stuff. And so, but like talking to the guy, I got a good gauge of like his personality,
Yeah.
at least how he felt that day. So he came and he opened up the TV and he's like, "Okay, your HDMI connection is broken, and I got to order the part. It'll come in and then I'll fix it." And it was the same guy that came back, but he just must not have been having a good day that day, because he was a completely different, like his personality was completely different that day when he came and actually switched out the board, which was crazy. Did I tell you about this? He had to actually switch out the entire board. It wasn't like just
That's
the
probably
HDMI
why he
port.
wasn't having
it was
a good
the
day.
entire board. But anyway, like it's just one of those things. Like you never know how somebody's gonna be.
Yeah.
And like the first time he came, he was a really nice, personable dude, talking, chatting to me, and I was listening to Howard Stern. Howard Stern just moved to Sirius, so I was listening to Howard Stern on Sirius. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I used to listen to Howard Stern." Like just having a good conversation and stuff like that. And he was there for maybe 25, 30 minutes when all he really needed to be there was 5. And then the next time, it was completely different, quiet, just like get the job done. And a job that maybe should have taken him a half hour, he kind of banged out in 10 or 15 minutes, switching out the entire board on the TV. And I was like, man, that was just weird. And like and that was Circuit City vetting this guy, saying, "Hey, this guy's good to go ahead and go into your home while you're there and check on your appliances or televisions or whatever." And he was completely different within about a 3-day span. And it's one of those things right there. I was like, I don't even like people coming into my house that need to fix things. I can't deal with that, because you never know how that person's going to be that day. And just like you said, that dude who comes to drop off your package may be having a bad day and kicks your cat when he opens your door to put your box down or whatever. You know, you just never know. And I don't see myself ever using
Too much
a service
liability
like that.
too,
Yeah.
especially if you have a dog or something like that.
Yeah, I just don't see myself ever using a service like that.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I barely got used to the idea of Google Home and, you know, like an Alexa.
Yeah, I've noticed that your tinfoil hat has come off a little bit lately.
A little bit. I'm growing. I'm growing as a person.
Go back to 3 years ago when he was like, "I'll never have a phone with a fingerprint scanner. Ever, ever, ever."
And now I get excited. Every time I go to an account and it has a vending machine with Apple Pay or Android Pay.
Now I get excited.
Like, oh, yes.
I get excited when I want to log into my PayPal account. I don't have to type in a password. I just
Yeah,
go,
that
boop,
too.
boop. But yeah, so people change, things change. Maybe I'll change somewhere down the road, but the whole smart key thing, like as a personal use item, I think that's
cool. Yeah.
But
yeah, me too.
As far as like willfully giving somebody access to your house, I don't think I could do that.
Yeah. Like, real quick, before I move on, like, there was a time where my older sister came over with the nephews, and the front door was locked, and it's a key one, but the back door, you know, I have a keypad on it.
Yeah.
So I was able to, like, oh, here's the code, just going through the back, and she didn't know we had one. I was like, oh my god, that's so useful. Blah blah blah. Now they considered getting one, and then they actually got one.
Oh, cool.
So they got a keypad as well, and I've been pushing that actually on a lot of people. Like, I have a keypad, less keys to carry.
Also, Rick is notorious for misplacing things,
No,
small things like keys. So, well, here I have a question. You have a gate.
Yeah.
So, this is a completely different scenario. Maybe if I something like this, maybe I would consider it. What if you had the smart lock on the gate?
I actually would want something like that. Yeah.
And then the person dropping off your package can open the gate, put it behind the gate, close the gate.
I would be fine with that.
That's something I would
totally be fine with that.
See, that I get it just far enough away from my personal items, and my attitude completely changes.
Yeah, if they could do that, then I'd be in, because like they're not in my house, they're in my backyard, which who gives a fuck. I mean, I don't got shit out back here, so you know, that's actually pretty smart.
Yeah. Okay.
I would do that.
We just see. Look at that. We're just saying. Who knows? In a few years, we might change our mind. We just changed it like that in seconds. Just changing the scenario and the situation a little bit.
I would think that because it's a different scenario too. I would think it'd be a little bit different insurance wise as well too. If you have a dog or something like that, you know, dog will rip it up. But like, so they tell me like if I can tell them, hey, put it behind here. Don't worry, I don't have animals.
Yeah.
Do it. Moving on.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of packages, should I do this?
Speaking of packages at FedEx.
Woo! It's actually USPS Postal Service.
United States Postal Service. We got an unboxing for you today.
Yeah. So it's something I've been talking about with Rick for a while, and now that he has the Elgato and streaming solution, stuff like that, because I don't have a computer that can do that. And
mine does it pretty well.
Yeah, and yours does it actually really well. So I got really excited because I have an original Xbox. It's the Halo-themed Xbox. And I have an Xbox 360 and I have PS3. And on PS3 you can play PS1 games and original Xbox games, obviously, and 360 and so forth. And I was like, dude, I want you to play Halo. You've never played Halo.
Yeah, I've never had.
I have Halo 1 and 2 on the original Xbox. I also have the remaster of Halo 1 for 360, which might be the way we go with Halo 1 because you can flip the graphics.
Flip the graphics?
Yeah, you can
mirror it, basically?
No. So like it's got the original graphics on it. So you hit a button and it flips to the old one so you can see what it looked like.
It used to look like.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So anyway, long story short, you guys know I talk about skateboarding a lot here. Rick and I have talked about the Tony Hawk games in the past here and how important they were to us growing up.
Yeah.
I have Tony Hawk 1 and 2, which we're totally going to play and stream sometime soon. I have those for the PS1, so I'll play them on my PS3. And I don't have an active or working PS2 or a PS3 with the PS2 backwards compatibility. But
I gave away mine.
But what I do have
totally regret
is
that.
an original Xbox. And on the original Xbox, I can play these games, or on a 360, these are all backwards compatible. So I have 1 and 2 for PlayStation. And what I did was I got on eBay.
Did you get a lot of them? Oh my god.
And I got, let's see here, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3.
Cool.
And so I haven't opened these, so I haven't seen how they look. So let's do a little inspection.
Okay. Not too bad?
Not bad, not bad. They say it's a used game wholesaler off eBay. They guarantee their discs to work. You have 30 days to return them if they don't.
3.
It's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. Boom. Okay. And I'll put it back in here so I don't pull focus for anything else. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4.
All right. I played 4.
4.
I never finished it. I just played it.
Oh, this one has the booklet.
Oh, cool.
Fuck yeah, awesome. But it's the Platinum Hits version of the game, which is pretty funny.
That's like their
yeah.
like their
Okay, that's not bad.
version.
I can clean these. There's some fingerprints on it, but they look okay. And again, like I said, the person who sold this I emailed already and gone back and forth with. They guarantee them to work. Tony Hawk's Underground, which was the 5th game that came out.
Yeah.
Well, this is
I think
where
that
they.
was the last one I kind of played with and kind of put down after that.
This is the year. So Tony Hawk 4 was the first year they changed the format, and it wasn't you have 2 minutes to attack these goals. It was here's an open worldish kind of level. There's quests to pick up from skaters. There's new things. They made them bigger. So yeah. Oh, Underground's got the booklet too. Wow, look at that, dude. Oh, and it's the original printing. It's the original pressing of the disc.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's not a platinum hit. Booklet's in good condition. Damn, I'm gonna have to buy from these people more often.
Yeah, that's.
And disc is a little dirty, and been buffed, obviously. But it's again,
But it's
they're guaranteed. So the box is a little bit busted, but that's okay. I don't mind that.
It's just the box.
What's in? It's just a box. Is that from? Just a box?
No.
Metal Gear.
What's in?
No,
Oh.
just a box. And Tony Hawk's Underground 2. So this is the last of the PS2 Xbox generation of games. Well, not the last, but
Right.
American Wasteland was also a PS2 and original Xbox game, but it also came out on the 360. It was the first one to come out on the 360. Also, original
Original disc.
printing, yeah. Yeah, these all have been cleaned and buffed, so that's fine. That's cool. All right, so we will be getting into these. And
As soon as tomorrow?
maybe? I think so.
That'll work Monday, so tomorrow would be a prime day.
Okay, so yeah, we've got 4 Tony Hawk games for the original Xbox to go through, plus the first 2 on PS1. And I will get my plan. I had all these games on PS2 back in the day. I had when I got my PS2, I kept my Tony Hawk 1 and Tony Hawk 2, and I got 3, 4 Underground 2, and then I actually got American Wasteland. I rented it. It was the American Wasteland was the first Tony Hawk game I didn't buy the day it came out.
I think I got that one off of
Blockbuster or something, probably.
probably,
Because that was 2005-ish.
perhaps.
Yeah, 2005. Oh man, they did a good job of packing them. They had bubble
They did a
wrap
really
in
good job.
between each
What's
thing.
the name of the company?
It's like a personal seller name.
Oh, it's a personal
yeah.
seller. Okay. Oh, that's like company person.
No. But yeah, it was really cool talking to this person through the messaging system on eBay. And they're like, yeah, don't worry about it. If you have any issues, let us know. Send them back. But yeah, man, I'm super excited to get into those games because
Yeah, it's been so long.
I'm one of those weirdos that likes all of the Tony Hawk games except for HD, which sucked. And Tony Hawk 5 sucked. I never got to play Ride or Shred. That was the one with the peripheral board.
Peripheral board, yeah. That just
But
silly.
I know kids really liked those games. Adults didn't because it wasn't the Tony Hawk they wanted. But I know kids really liked those games. But yeah, man, I'm really excited to play through these games and to get you to play through Halo 1 and Halo 2. I have all the way
really
up to
looking
Halo
forward
4.
To play Halo, especially after what you told me with Destiny.
Yeah. I have up to Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, and Halo 4. I also have Halo ODST, which is a single-player game, so that we won't be able to do. The only Xbox 360 era Halo game I don't own is Halo Reach, which I actually haven't played because it's not a Master Chief story. Neither is ODST really, but it's a fun-ass game. But yeah, man, I'm really excited to play through these games. I love the Tony Hawk franchise, and I wish that 5 was good, but 5 was just terrible, man. Terrible. But yeah, so I plan on getting American Wasteland for 360 and Project 8 and Proving Ground, because Proving Ground was the last one that came out on PS3.
Was that the one where they tried to make it full price and it wasn't really full price?
No, 5 was the one. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5. So Proving Ground was the one that came out in 2000, let's see, 5, 6, 7? 2007.
Okay. I don't think I even remember.
It was fine. It was fine. They just added
that one.
so much to Proving Ground. But yeah, I really liked American Wasteland. It had a cool story. It came out around the same time that Dogtown and Z-Boys and Lords of Dogtown were really popular.
Right.
So it had a lot of old school skating stuff in it, which was really cool. And Project 8 was cool because it was like a neighborhood, like a city. So you had your neighborhood, you had high school, you had like parks, and all this stuff. And the whole point of Project 8 was you played it with me because I had it on 360.
Yeah, that's right.
The whole point of Project 8 was to become the best skater in this town to go on tour with Tony Hawk.
I remember that one now.
And that game's pretty fun too. And yeah, then Proving Ground just did not feel good. Proving Ground came out after the original Skate. And once Skate came out, that changed the game,
everything.
man. Big time. But yeah. I also have all 3 Skate games that we can stream at some point. But yeah, man, I kept a lot of my PS3 era games because I kept my PS3. But yeah, we're going to go through those games, and we're going to do a lot more with this channel, hopefully.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
Yeah, definitely try to stream a lot more,
Yeah.
hopefully on a weekly basis. And hopefully if I get that job close to home, that could actually happen.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing all of those games, especially Halo for someone who's never played it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've only played it once, and that was the LAN party type of playing.
So fun.
And that was a lot of fun. And then I played it. No, actually, I lied. I played it twice. I did it that way, that version.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually a friend of Michael's
that
had that LAN party going on. Then I played it again online. I played a little bit of online when it was first online.
Yeah, Halo 2.
And that was interesting.
Real quick thing about Halo. So, my buddy Lawrence, who I was talking about earlier,
right.
His friends, who became my friends, Joe and Jason, we would all go hang out at Joe's house, and I would take my Xbox, and we would plug it into Joe's fucking 19-inch TV, and we would play 4-player split screen on a 19-inch TV for all day. Like, I would go over there, and we would be there from like 10 in the morning till like midnight, just playing Halo.
Ooh. Yummy Demon
Nice.
is now following us. Cool.
Sweet.
Thanks.
But yeah, like we used to go over there and play that, and then I was the first one to get an Xbox 360, so I would take my 360 over to his house, to the point where for Christmas one year, they got me a backpack for like one of those gaming backpacks. Just like, put your console and your controllers and everything in here. They got me one for when I take the console over to Joe's house.
That's funny.
Because we would go hang out like at least 3 or 4 times a month, like once a weekend. We would go over there and just hang out and play video games and talk and have a good ass time.
Right.
And
that's how it was with the 64.
Yeah. Yeah.
Neighbors around here had one, and with the 64, I guess it was a little different because it had 4 port controls.
Yeah.
But we would play GoldenEye and Star Fox.
Yeah.
And just spend hours doing that. Me and my friends would do that.
Yeah, it's crazy to think, man. That was like 2003, 2004. And I got married in 2004. And then now it's been 15 years that I've known Joe, and now I'm married and have 2 kids. Joe's married and he has a daughter. Like it's insane, man, to think how much time has gone by.
Yami says Halo CE was always the master of all the party games.
Oh, so good! It's so good.
I don't know what CE.
Combat Evolved.
Evolved. Okay.
Halo Combat Evolved was the name of the game.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught it earlier. I'm new to
He's never played Halo, so I'm gonna bring.
So we're gonna actually stream that probably either tomorrow, maybe, or
we could do a little
soon.
bit tomorrow. Yeah, I'll take it easy on you. We won't do it on heroic. We'll do it on.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's what we used to like. Okay, so then in Halo 2 it had co-op play, so me and Lawrence would run through that campaign on heroic like that because we played so much.
Damn.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Really good stuff. So yeah, we got Halo games. We got a bunch of Tony Hawk games. I have Silent Hill, the original Silent Hill on PS1, so we can play through that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's definitely gonna be fun to go through these old games and kind of relive memories because I haven't played these Tony Hawk games in a very long time.
Headphones.
Okay.
I've been looking at getting headphones.
I need a new pair of headphones back.
Because you definitely do headphones. I've seen your headphones.
I just don't have $120 to spend on the headphones, or $150
to
spend on the headphones I want.
Bose one, yeah. The one I have right now, I actually got them cheaper because I traded them in through Twitter because Bose has really good customer service.
Yeah, they do. They always have.
And it breaks my heart to say this.
Oh no!
But I've been jumping around different brands to see which one I might like better. Just because, so the ones I'm stuck between are the Bose, the newest one, Bose. Basically, I think the
newest versions of the one you have.
No, the highly expensive noise canceling ones. $350.
I don't like artificial noise canceling. Not a fan.
So yeah, they're the Quiet Comfort 35 Series 2, which actually has Google Assist on it, which I don't really care about.
That's why they're $300.
I could get the last version, I think for like $270. And then I saw the Sony WH or 1000 M2s, XM2s.
Okay.
And those are so much better.
Can you actually go to stores and try headphones on still?
Yeah,
they still
I
do
did
that?
that yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, that's what I did yesterday.
Why would you do that when I can't go with you?
Oh, I was coming back on my way from work.
Damn.
So, but yeah, like, and then I also started thinking about gaming headphones too. Like maybe I get, somewhere in the middle, I get myself a nice gaming headset
like
or something.
Turtle Beach or something like that.
Something like that. Because really, when I think about it, like I only really use headphones for gaming. I don't really use it for. I mean, the only time I take my headphones with me is when I'm, going out and playing somewhere. But
I'm at the point now.
That rarely happens.
And I never thought this would be me, but I'm at the point now to where if I use headphones and it's not for gaming, I just have some cheap Amazon Bluetooth earbuds that are actually really good. They have you have a pair.
Oh
they
yeah,
have
those
good
those
sound.
are really good.
They're $20 Bluetooth headphones and they're really good. I washed a pair of them, and they still worked for another 3 or 4 months before they decided, nah, bro, it ain't happening anymore.
Yeah, so yeah, I've been shopping around, but like actually trying them out there, like the Sonys are incredible. They just sound so much better. The only thing that I don't like about them is like they're comfortable, but the way they're shaped for the ears are a little weird.
Yeah, I got big ass ears. That's hard.
But for the most part, but then I started looking. That's when I started looking at the gaming headsets because I started thinking like, I better just get some gaming headsets and then I can.
So that's why I like the Bose ones so much. Those are the only headphones I've ever had. Because they're over ear, but I have gigantic ears, so the cup rests on the outside of my ear.
Oh, you can't fully get them.
No, I can't. Not unless I do some weird shove-in trickery, which I'm not gonna do. But those are the only headphones only on-ear or over-ear headphones I've ever had that don't hurt my ears, that don't bother me. Like my Sony headset, which is a good headset, but I can't get it over my ears, so right here ends up feeling bruised. By the end of like when we get done playing Destiny after 2 or 3 hours, up here feels like
I get that
bruised.
too.
Yeah. I need something, and I look at like the Turtle Beach ones or like the Afterglow ones, like the $200, $250 gaming headsets, and like I try them on because they're super light because the microphone is external and all that, so it's not having to be built in, so they're not super heavy. Yeah. That's my only beef with the Sony headphones: how heavy they are. But there's a lot of shit in those headphones, and they sound great, and the microphone sounds great. But yeah, I've been looking at headphones too, to just like maybe even just get the Bose ones with the talking dongle that'll plug into my controller, because man.
Yeah, I swear to you, I was this close to buying them. But it wasn't until I started testing out more, and listening to the quality, and all right, now I got so many more other options to think about. But yeah, I started thinking about. I think I'm gonna start looking into gaming headsets. Yeah. Instead, because
you'll usually
most
pay
of the time
$250 on those too, which is crazy. $150 to $250.
Not true, but I mean, with.
It'd be nice to have something that you can use
Destiny out now, and all the hours I'm going to be putting into that.
It'll be nice to have something you can use for gaming, but also has high enough quality so you can use for editing or just listening to whatever you're going to listen to.
That's true, for editing as well. Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. I just thought maybe
I'll have to look into it. Maybe I'll give you some suggestions. Should check out Wirecutter?
I did check out Wirecutter. Yeah, the Quiet Comforts were the ones that were on top, but I'm starting to disagree that I think the Sony M2s
You
are better.
should send an email to
I don't know if they
Robert Heron and Patrick Norton.
I should.
For AVXL. That's actually a really good podcast, by the way.
Oh yeah, you've been listening to it?
I started listening to it, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't started that yet. I got Audible again.
Did you?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I got Audible again.
Did you make up another email address so you can get a free account?
No, it just let me do it again.
Okay.
So I still got one more book to pick, and I forgot what. I never forgot. All right. I forgot the name of the book, the sequel to the ones that we've been reading.
Okay, so wait, which ones have you gone through?
I have to finish the first two.
Okay, so the third one is called An Unwelcome Quest.
That's the one I haven't got yet.
And the fourth one is out
already.
Yeah, it's called oh God, what is it called? I can't remember what it's called.
But yeah, so
but there's a fourth one that's out only on Audible right now, but it'll be out on Kindle and
Got it.
all that like next month.
So I got that, and I got John Green's latest book, Turtles All the Way Down.
Okay.
Because it's been getting really good reviews, and I think we're 8 chapters into it, and I'm already liking it. It's like a mystery adventure type of I was gonna say movie book.
Yeah.
But yeah, my next book, I was gonna text you, but I keep forgetting and getting sidetracked. I wanted to know what that book was.
Scott Meyer, An Unwelcome Quest.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay.
Which is actually really fucking good.
Yeah.
Because the antagonist isn't who you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really fucking good.
And then I re-listened to The Disaster Artist.
Okay.
Preparing for the movie coming out.
Yeah.
And God, I'm excited for that movie. You still haven't seen The Room, have you?
No.
We have to get you to watch that.
Okay.
Just because it's funny. Speaking of music and headphones, Weezer came out with a new album on the yesterday.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay. You already listened to it?
I listened to the whole thing about 3 or 4 times already.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, is it that good?
It's good. I like it.
Like that last Blink album, I did the same thing. That shit was just so good.
Yeah, the Blink album was incredible.
And then the extended version they put out that had like 9 new songs was really good too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
So yeah, I downloaded the new Weezer album. Weezer lately, for the last few years, for their albums, kind of been hit or miss for me. And far as back as like I think it was after Melodroid, I started kind of going on and off with Weezer just because their sound just wasn't my taste anymore. There were some songs on Raditude I liked.
As popular as it was, I really wasn't a huge fan of the Green album either.
The Green album?
Yeah. With Island of the Sun and Hash Pipe. I'm like, these are all right. I'm like, I like these songs, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem the same.
Well, the Green album is more sentimental value to me. But
yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, so this album is incredible. And then I've also listened to, just to sidetrack a little, the White album, which I've never really listened to just because, like I told you, I was kind of on and off with them.
Yeah.
And that one's great, too.
Really? Okay.
So, love the White album. Love their recent album. So, yeah, I just wrote down a few of the songs that I'm really digging.
Okay.
Feels Like Summer, Weekend Woman, and Beach Boys.
Okay.
And
And what's the name of the album?
Pacific... I have it right here. Pacific Daydream.
Okay.
I'll
add that to my list to listen to on Amazon today.
I thought you were a Weezer fan.
I am.
Oh, you are a Weezer fan.
Yeah,
You just didn't like that one album. Okay.
Pinkerton is the fucking... That's
their best of all time.
Right? Like, people will say the Blue Album, but those people are fucking wrong.
It's a good album.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not a good album, but the
album.
people who live and die by the Blue Album are assholes.
I don't want to go that far, but...
Of course, I'm being hyperbole all over
right.
the place. But Pinkerton, I think, if people went back and listened to Pinkerton now, they'd be like, fuck, man, why have I been fucking around with this Blue Album bullshit? Pinkerton is so good.
Every time I go back to Pinkerton, it's like you're listening to it for the first time again.
Because you remember where you were when you first started. Like, me and a buddy of mine, his name is Ben Thomas. I met him through wrestling. Super awesome dude. Great ring announcer, by the way. But we were talking about music recently on Facebook, and like just having a conversation with him. He's 6 or 7 years older than us. I think he might be older than that, but so he has a completely different relationship with No Doubt's music than I do. Because the first stuff I ever really heard was the stuff off Tragic Kingdom. Even though I knew who they were before that, the first stuff I really ever heard was the stuff off Tragic Kingdom. But Ben has been listening to them since 1986 when they first got together and had 2 singers. Yeah, and had a male and female singer and all that. Or he was the original vocalist or whatever. And so he has a completely different relationship with No Doubt and that self-titled album, which is good. But for me, it's Tragic Kingdom because that's the one that connected with me. And like I was just saying, like it's really cool. The best thing about music and most arts is it's not necessarily the technical proficiency of the artist or the band or the singer or musician. It also goes into moments in time and how you felt when you heard this song or how you felt when you heard that album. And for me, that's the best part. That's the thing I love about music the most is you can love a band that's not technically very good, or the vocalist doesn't have a great singing voice, but you know what, that's your band, you know what I mean, like that's the thing you like because of a moment in time.
Exactly. You know, it's funny you're saying that, the moment in time when you first listen to it, where how it takes you back. Like, I take new albums from bands, like, to the point where, like, all right, I want to listen to this album, but where do I want to listen to it? I go to that extent. Like, when this Weezer album came out, like, do I want to listen to this on the drive home, on the drive to work, you know, on the drive to, you know,
where is it going to have
Orange County?
Where's it going to have all my attention? Where am I going to be able to feel this while it's happening?
Exactly.
Kind of thing,
And then I was at home, so like, fuck it, I'll just play it. You know, and boom, like, wow, this album is so good. But that's how I am when albums came out. Like when the Blink-182 album came out too.
That's a road trip album, man. That is a car album.
And
Holy shit.
And I heard that driving on the way to Bryce's place down to OC, and I was like, fuck, this is good.
So good, man.
So that's kind of how I am with when new albums come out. So although I didn't listen to this, you know, doing something that, you know, other than being here, like even if I would have just got in my car and drove around aimlessly, like that would have been pretty cool. Yeah. But for the most part, like this album is very fun. Okay. And it just reminded me of their earlier albums. Okay. And that's what I really like about it.
Cool, man. I'll have to listen to that then.
So it just came out yesterday. Highly recommend it.
Cool.
And I think that's it for that. Okay. I think I know you said
you want to talk about some nostalgia, sir, and going back in time and listening to things. First off, this music conversation I was having with my buddy Ben came up because it was one of those things. You know that game me and Amber like to play where I'll give you two bands and you have to choose. If I can only listen to one,
I saw her or you put that on Facebook. Yeah.
If I could only choose, if you could only choose one, and the other is completely gone now, which one would it be? So, my buddy Ben Thomas posted something on Facebook similar, and I was like, okay. And knowing the answer I was going to get, I put No Doubt and Say Ferris because I knew what answer I was going to get. He was going to tell me to go fuck myself, and he was going to pick No Doubt because he has that relationship with that music, with that band. But I knew what I was going to get, but I wanted to hear him make fun of Monique like only he can, because that's what he does. And me, I love Save Ferris.
Yeah.
Introducing Save Ferris and Modified are two amazing albums. And she's put out an album under the name Save Ferris, but there's none of the original members of the band except her. And it is terrible. It is so terrible. It's like, the thing I really liked about her vocals is like, it always felt like there was more power in her voice than she was giving you, but you would get it every once in a while. Talking about Monique Powell.
Right.
It seems like she completely forgot that she has that in her, or she just can't hit that stuff anymore. Because this is the most homogenized, generic album I've heard in a long time, and it really made me sad. So I mentioned that to Ben, and he said, hey, you should check out Starpool. Starpool is the actual members of Save Ferris with the original No Doubt lead singer from 1986.
Oh, you post.
And Starpool, that album, or that EP I heard, because I haven't heard the whole album. They have one, I think it's called Lost in Translation, I think is what it's called. But they have an EP that's amazing. It's so good. It's exactly what I was looking for. I was on a ska kick recently, which is why all this stuff came up. And
I was on a ska kick a few months ago.
And like it's Starpool is awesome. If you guys like that 90s era ska, third wave ska stuff, check out Starpool because it's exactly what I was looking for, and it really bummed me out that the new Save Ferris stuff was so bad. And also on the nostalgia kick, Amber, who is, you know, me and her like speak to each other musically all the time, and she said, Letters to Cleo put out an EP last year that's fucking amazing. And you want to talk about somebody who still sounds exactly the same? So good. So it's called Back to Nebraska, and it's on Amazon streaming unlimited or whatever. I'm sure it's on Spotify and Apple Music and all that stuff. But that is like one of those things where as soon as I hit play, I was transported back to what they sounded like in 1995. It's so good.
I will forget later, so I'm gonna look for it right now.
Yeah. Letters to Cleo's new stuff is really, or their most recent EP thing is really, really good. And yeah, Starpool is another one. So yeah, I was like on a really like weird nostalgia music kick. Like, I wonder if this band had anything new out. About a month and a half ago, I started listening to old Cake albums again because I really love Cake. And it's one of those things where I posted, I said, in the great debate of Cake versus Weezer, I was always on Team Cake. And that's just the way I was.
Fair enough. What was the name of the album?
Back to Nebraska. Back to Nebraska, yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Got it? Okay.
Downloading it now.
Cool. But yeah, I love being able to go back and revisit things and have them and come away from it going, yeah, it wasn't just, the 12-year-old kid in me. This album is actually really fucking good. This is really good. I get scared in going back to stuff that I loved as a kid for fear that it's not going to hold up.
Yeah.
I've been let down so many times by going back. And one I always cite, and even though I still love this movie to death, it's Goonies. It just is not good. It is not good as an adult. Even having the nostalgic love for it that I do have, I can't watch that movie. I can't watch the whole movie anymore, and it bums me out. But I love that movie still. I'll never forget how I felt the first time I saw Goonies.
Right.
But yeah, it's so hard to go back to things, and especially from that era, like late 80s, early 90s stuff.
They're over the top, silly.
Right? And then there's always stuff that comes out where you feel like, this is what this movie felt like when I was a kid. I love this movie now because it reminds me of that.
Yeah.
Even though it's not that thing. But yeah, so I've just been on a nostalgic music kick lately and listening to stuff. And
so I don't know if we talked about this in the podcast. We're going on side tangent here again. I know we talked about this in the car, but I don't think we talked about it in the podcast about revisiting old songs or albums of bands you just didn't like.
Oh, yeah.
Did we talk about this in the podcast?
No,
we didn't.
No, we were going to, but then we went.
We
did what we always do. I got sidetracked and went really long and then ended up tabling that. So, yeah.
So yeah, we did talk about this a little bit off camera. I want to talk about it on camera in case anyone else is watching too. So
what's something you totally despised?
Something I totally didn't like. I wouldn't say like I hated them. I have vendetta against them, but like I didn't like their music at all. And that's My Chemical Romance.
Yeah, you mentioned this on your Anchor thing. By the way,
I did mention. Oh, that's right.
That's probably why it's fresh in your mind. I'm getting serious now.
So My Chemical Romance. Like I wasn't really into them. Like I remember their their videos and the Black Parade and all that, but for the most part,
the videos they did for Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge were awesome.
Yeah,
those were great videos.
What is it, Helena?
Yeah,
that was a really good video. So yeah, like I didn't really like them. I was like, no, this isn't my stuff, And then you also brought that up that they had a similar vibe to AFI.
I always call them AFI knockoffs,
which I can totally see.
Yeah,
at least their early stuff.
Yeah,
their later stuff was definitely different.
Their later stuff, it's funny because they're like Welcome to the Black Parade. Like so, Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge is kind of like mid '90s knockoff AFI.
Yeah,
and then Black Parade is like 2000s knockoff AFI. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. And this kind of goes back to like 2015.
Yeah.
To when I started getting into them because of a YouTuber friend, Beth Boulevard, who really loves My Chemical Romance.
I really like that band. I hated them at first, but that had nothing to do with me hearing it and going, I don't like it. I saw them. I was like, fuck these AFI knockoffs. And I didn't, because I love AFI. Top 3 band. AFI is one of my top 3 bands.
Right. Yeah. I know how much you love them. Yeah. So because of her, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give them another chance because I think what happened was like she posted, I think, a video or something. I decided just to watch it, and I was like, wow, this is really good. It wasn't one of the popular of the songs. Can't remember what it was exactly, but for the most part, like I started listening to them, like this isn't bad, and then I kind of like started hearing them every now and again on the mix, on like the online mix, Google Play mix, whatever. So like, you know what? I'm gonna download their album. I'm gonna give them a chance. I downloaded the 2 of their albums, Black Parade and Three Cheers
for Sweet Revenge.
And fuck, those were really good.
They're good albums.
I was like,
they're good albums.
I feel like shit for not giving it a chance. I was just like, enraged punk. It's all about punk music, man.
It's got too emo.
Yeah. And of course, I'm a giant emo kid as well. I like the Get Up Kids.
Every punk kid is an emo
kid.
kid that's afraid to admit it.
Exactly. Exactly.
I speak from a place of knowing.
Exactly.
Except I was never afraid to admit it.
So I went back and I started listening to their discography. I can't say that. Yeah. And
some of their early stuff is really good because again, it's like early '90s
it's
AFI
like early
knockoff
90s
stuff.
Yeah. So I would say I'm actually a big fan of My Chemical Romance, and then you were surprised because you said
I knew you didn't like them.
Yeah.
We had talked about it because I like that band.
And it's funny because I used to not like Radiohead.
I still don't like Radiohead.
I know. Well, me being an emo kid, that's something you have to like,
Yes. It's too much, man.
And I didn't like them at first. I didn't like Radiohead. I'm like, no, that's just not my thing, whatever. And then I didn't start liking Radiohead probably until 2004 or 5. I think when they put out that For Free album.
Oh, yeah. God.
I think it was Kid A or something like that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, yeah. And then I started going back and listening to their stuff. And I became a fan of theirs. So I've kind of has that happened to you? Sorry, I got a long-winded
No, it's
question.
fine. I've been waiting because I do. This one is...
And to you, anyone watching, comment below.
This is pretty big.
Okay.
I hated Dude Ranch the first time I heard it.
How do you hate Dude Ranch?
Fucking hated it.
So much that you lost your hat.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it wasn't what I was expecting it to be. And it's not like that was the first, Blink stuff I ever heard. Like I'd heard their other stuff, but I hated Dude Ranch.
Wow.
It felt like coming from earlier works. It felt kind of, I won't say homogenized because it still had that edge to it, but it felt like they were trying to make a quote punk album for the mainstream. Based on, again, that's not just based on Damn It.
Okay, yeah.
But that Damn It is the quintessential reason why I didn't like that album. Because it is a punk song that was, and it might just be the age they were at, but that felt like it was formulated for mainstream. For people to be like, I like punk too. No, you don't. You like this shitty Blink-182 crap. And it's not even their good stuff. But that album, I went out and bought it because I was a fan. And I popped it in and I listened to it and I was like, I don't like this. And I listened to it all the way through, like over maybe a weekend, a whole week maybe, where I just listened to it over and over and over again. It's like, maybe it'll grow on me. Maybe it'll grow on me. I just spent $20 on this fucking thing. Because back in the day, kids, CDs cost $20.
$15 to $20.
Yeah. So I was
15 if you're lucky.
I was like, maybe it'll grow on me. Maybe it'll grow on me. And it just never did over that week or time span that I gave it. And I just put it in my CD case and didn't come back to it for maybe 2 years. 2 years later, I came back to it. No, not 2 years. Because it was right. I think my ideals and my personality had changed a little bit. Because I ended up revisiting that album right when Enema of the State was going to be coming out. Because to me, even though that is far more homogenized than Dude Ranch, that album felt more genuine to me. Like the songs I had heard felt more genuine than the Dude Ranch stuff had felt. And I was like, well, maybe I'll go back and let me give Dude Ranch another go. So I put in Dude Ranch and listened to it and I was like, I'm a fucking idiot. This is an amazing album. But again, it might have just been my personality at the time. And those are years where you go through leaps and bounds of change in the things you like and the reasons you like them. And for me, again, that was 95, 96, 97. That I am 14, 15, 16 years old, where you really start to kind of find yourself.
Yeah.
And realize, man, I think I might have kicked my own ass if I went back in time and saw 14-year-old me, because he was a fucking idiot. Whereas before, you would be like, man, 14-year-old me would be kicking my ass right now because of something I'm doing. But then you realize, no, 14-year-old me is a fucking idiot. But yeah, Dude Ranch is the biggest one I can think of.
Wow.
I hated it.
Because I do remember there was, because, most of my punk music that I liked were more of the lesser known bands. They were mostly like East Bay, Chicago bands.
Yeah.
And, and then you got Blink-182 coming out, taking some of that, because they were highly influenced by Screeching Weasel, Blink-182. Yeah. They even covered some, I think 2 of their songs. And I think I had that little bit of hate towards them too. Because of that, but at the same time I was like, fuck, I can't deny this music because it's so good. Yeah. I do remember that because because my friend at the time, he kind of felt the same way, but we were like, this is still good though.
It's one of those things like, hey, can I tell you I like this? I can't tell anybody else, right?
But yeah, that's why I can understand why you didn't like it.
It just, at the time, and if you go back and
perhaps,
listen...
Enema of the State maybe also put that in perspective as well, because that album itself, has hardcore or strong pop punk as well as, commercial mainstream songs on it. Yeah.
Enema's a good album.
It is a good album.
So that's another one where at first I didn't like it, because the first time hearing it, I was like, this just sounds like even more of what I didn't like about, what I didn't like about Dude Ranch. This is times 10. Yeah. But then after listening to that a few times, I was like, no, but this feels more genuine than Dude Ranch did. And then I went back and listened to Dude Ranch, and I was like, no, this is still good, but I still feel the same way about Dude Ranch, but I can accept that it's a good album. Yeah. But I still feel like they were trying really hard on that album.
On
Dude Ranch. Yeah. Okay. Where I felt like they found it, and it was more genuine on Enema, which, again, may not be a popular opinion. But that was, so Enema of the State was one of the first...
I feel that's where they really found their voice.
Yeah. I think Enema was the first thing Amber and I ever talked about. We had summer school together. And she was talking about it with somebody, and I was talking about it with somebody, and then me and her started talking about it, and I was like, yeah, it just feels like more of what I didn't like. I don't like this song or that song or blah, 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 but there's some good stuff on here, but I'm kind of jaded because I didn't like Dude Ranch, but I like earlier stuff, and so that was Blink-182 was the first thing Amber and I bonded over kind of enjoying Enema of the State, but not really, cautiously enjoying it, Yeah. So yeah, it's one of those things.
You like it, you like it.
And then we talked about this before, but you and I met because of music. So.
I was like, because of music? Yeah. You did? I thought it was Dignation, but no, you're right. That was after the music.
We met because of music, because you, me, and Fran would always wave to each other because we were the only assholes that followed Plastic Parachute to every venue they were at. And then we just started chatting. So music is what brought us together as friends. And that's been 13 years now.
Fuck, dude. That's a long time.
Something like that. No, 12. Because my daughter's 11. So 12 years.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, man. I can't believe Dude Ranch.
Yeah,
there's no other album you can think of. What do you think? There's a band that I love now that when I first heard them, kind of had, which I kind of call I didn't personally call this. I saw this in a documentary, the Ramones effect, where when you listen to them, sometimes you don't like it, but then the more you hear it, the more you like it. That was how the Weaker Thans were for me.
Okay.
I've never heard of this band. I've never heard of fucking Canadian music in the first place. And then my girlfriend at the time loves this band and starts playing their music. I don't want to be judgmental, but this the guy's voice is bad.
This sucks, right?
It's not good.
But again, it's that emotional connection you have with it.
Yeah. And then the more she played it in the car, the more I was actually really started all right, let me pay attention to the song and actually see what they're singing about. I was like, fuck, this guy's a fucking poet, man. He's good. He was almost nearing at the Elliott Smith level. I wouldn't go that far, but I love the Weaker Thans, but Elliott Smith is poet right there. But yeah, it just caught on to me, and that ended up becoming one of my all-time favorite bands, which is one of the reasons why I flew to New York just to see them. Yeah. And they were also playing them with the New Amsterdams, was the guy from Alkaline Trio? No, it wasn't him. It was someone else from another band. Who was it? Who's that? That's the band. Oh my god, I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, like I have that. Like it's funny. Like you've had that effect where you kind of just like it grew on you after multiple listens. I'm sure it has.
Yeah. Do me a favor. Can you get my water for me?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I can't really think of one that is as big or as man, I really didn't like this as much as Dude Ranch, but I can tell you about an album that I went the complete other way with.
Okay.
That I loved when it came out because of my predisposed love for this band. And then as time has gone on, I realized that it's like my least favorite album by this band. And that album is Darklight by him. Again, top 3 band.
I'm not familiar with him. I mean, I've heard their music. I'm just not familiar
probably
with their
my
albums.
favorite. Yes, I'm one of those dorks that has a heartogram tattoo. Judge me all you want. I don't care. It really affects me if you think my tattoo is stupid, or the thing I like is dumb. Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, that's something like I take from Colin Moriarty. I played that clip for you where he's like, "Oh, fucking the Jets suck. Oh, 311 sucks," and he's like, "Oh, you're cutting me deep right there. I really give a fuck what you think about the thing that I like. Oh no." But yeah, so yeah, I know people. Some people don't like the band Him because of the association with Bam Margera. Because some people don't like Bam Margera. Whatever. I love this band. It's probably my favorite band of all time. To the point where I actually put one of their symbols on my body. And when Darklight came out, I was like, oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then as I got farther away from its release, I was like, I don't like that song. I'm going to skip that song when it comes on. And this was the first time on a Him album where I ever skipped a song. I was like, I don't like the title track. I don't like the track Darklight. I'm just going to skip that. I don't really like this song either. I'm going to skip that one. And like I still like the majority of that album. But I went into that album super hyped because when that album came out was the very beginning of, not the very beginning, but it was the beginning of people posting podcasts on YouTube. And they weren't podcasts. They were just, oh, here we have this interview that we did with him about the recording of their album. That's on iTunes. Look it up. And they did like a 4-part or 5-part series with Villavallo and, I think it was him and maybe the bassist. And they were talking about in the first episode, like, yeah, we're doing all these new things. We got a new producer. We're recording it in LA. It's the first time we've recorded something outside of here, blah, blah, with a new producer. And they were really hype about it. We want people to hear Darklight, and because like their genre of music is quote love metal, and like when we hear people say what's love metal, we want to hand them this album. Keep in mind they already had an album called Love Metal, which is one of my favorites. But they were like, we want to be able to hand this to listeners and be like, this is what love metal is. And that first episode, I was so hyped. I was like, oh, this is going to be so good. This is going to be so good. And then a few weeks later, they put another episode out. And they're still hyped, but they're a little less hyped. And then the third album, they're like, no, we've changed a lot of stuff. We've changed this is changing, that's changing, blah, 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 blah. And by the 4th episode, they seemed completely indifferent about how the album came out because of the producer they worked with and the way they recorded it and stuff like that. Like they didn't sacrifice. Val didn't sacrifice what he wrote lyrically, but they've said they've sacrificed a lot musically because the producer was hands-on, a very hands-on producer. And I can't remember who produced it, but that album came out, and I was like, oh, it's all right though. It's gonna be him. It's him. I'm still gonna love it, and I probably love 5 songs, and I probably like 8 of the 10 songs that are on it. But it's one of those albums where, like, the more I listen to it, I was like, I don't think I like that song so much. Like, I used to think I really loved this song, but it's way low on my list now. But Darklight by Him is one that I went the complete other way with. To where upon more listening and going back to it, I like it less and less.
Wow, yeah. Really? They're not from here. I know that.
They're from Finland.
Right. So they recorded that album here.
They've done that before. After that, they've recorded albums out here and all that. But yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe that was like just a different, way of producing and like. That sucks, though, man. Yeah, especially when it happens. One of your favorite bands puts out a stinker.
And again, it's not necessarily a stinker.
Well, yeah.
But it's the same thing that I say about what I thought Dude Ranch was and what Enema of the State was. It was so fucking homogenized and watered down, and it really bummed me out because at a time where a band like fucking Evanescence is out, and they're trying to do what him does so fucking well. That just seems way less than. I don't like Evanescence. I don't, because I liked him first.
Never. Same
thing where like I heard a song by Evanescence, their first song. I was like, oh, maybe this is all right. And then Fran, another guy who I bonded with music with, he's like, you should listen to Lacuna Coil. And so then I listened to Lacuna Coil, and I was like, oh my god, this is 100 times better than Evanescence. Get out of here. But yeah, like it just, Darklight felt so homogenized and put together to be their breakthrough album, you know? And like that stuff doesn't happen that way. That stuff happens organically. And the album they put out after that, Venus Doom, is one that I really like also. And it's way better than Darklight. But Venus Doom, even down to some riffs and like some of the song structure, feels like that's what they wanted Darklight to be. This is what we wanted Darklight to be. And didn't get it out that way. But yeah, I went the other way on Darklight. And I don't hate it. I don't think it's terrible. But
it's not the album you'll pop in.
Right.
Dang. I'm trying to think if I could think of something like that, and the only thing that that comes to mind is Green Day, everything they put out after
American Idiot.
I feel like they tried to. I'm not saying they're bad, because I did go back. I listened to
21st Century Breakdown.
I listened to that. It's not bad.
It's really fucking good. It's just,
I would say it's really fucking good.
When we went through it on Rock Band, that's when I realized, oh shit, this is actually really good.
I liked it, but and I didn't deserve as much hate as I gave it the first time when I first gave it over. But after, like, I wouldn't say that's the reoccurring album in my playlist as far as that goes. But like,
I can't tell you the names of any of the songs, nor can I sing along with them. But when we played Rock Band, I was like, oh yeah, that's not bad. This is actually pretty good.
Yeah, everything after that album, Uno dos Tres.
That's not bad either. I've actually gone back and listened to it.
One or two or three songs that I really like. Rest, no.
Yeah.
Nope, not for me.
And the new one,
Revolution
Radio, feels like, hey, let's take all this stuff and mix it with all of this stuff and kind of put them together.
I felt like that was like a happy medium.
Yeah.
And
I like it a lot.
And I like the album a lot.
And I also say, like, it's the first album they've ever put out where, yeah, you can tell still it's Billy Joe Armstrong, but it doesn't sound like he's doing that. Because the reason, so it took me a while to get into Green Day because I like The Clash.
Yeah.
And they're obviously heavily influenced by The Clash. All the way down to the way Billy Joe Armstrong sings his vocal. He has an affectation on his voice when he sings that sounds nothing like the way he talks. And this new album, it finally sounds like, oh, this is his real voice. Like, that's what Revolution Radio feels like to me. It's like, oh, this is the real Billy Joe Armstrong.
It's his revolution.
This isn't his Clash trying to sound like the Clash thing, you know? Yeah. But yeah, I really like that new album a lot.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to their next album.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of all the political shit going on right now.
See, that's what makes me not look forward to it at all. Because then it's just going to feel like American Idiot again.
I'm not. I mean, they're not going to obviously put something like that, because you can't capture something like American Idiot again. Just because it's the time and the era. But like, I feel like just in general, not just with Green Day, like music, I think is just going to get.
Bad Religion had a great album that came out that same year too.
You did?
Yeah.
I think I listened to it.
Is it Los Angeles is Burning?
I wasn't that much of a fan of Bad Religion.
You are a fucking... Alright, we won't go there.
I mean, I like one or two or three of their songs.
Yeah.
Like, the radio ones were alright, but for the most part, they're a band.
Yeah.
And they play music.
I like them a lot, man. Yeah. I'm a huge Bad Religion fan. They had a really good album that came out that year, too. But they always have good music out.
Yeah, so for the most part, like, those 1, 2, 3 albums, like, it didn't really do it for me.
They're okay.
Yeah.
There's a good...
I want to go back to them.
So here's the thing about them is like if you miss like old school Green Day, there's a lot of that on there. I think that's why I said
there is. Yeah.
I feel like they took the concepts of 21st Century Breakdown and American Idiot and mixed them with what they were trying to do with Uno Dos Tres,
right,
and put them together with Revolution Radio.
Which I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to throw it out there because I already put it out on Twitter, Warning
is fucking rated, isn't it?
Man, it's so underrated.
Yeah, I agree, dude. But you and I have been saying that for a long time, though. It's not as bad as everybody makes it out to be.
Yeah, and I remember when that album came out too, because my friend at the time, like, that was like his punk band, that he got into.
Yeah.
And like he loved this band, and I'm sure he still does. But like when we heard it, we were like, kind of looking at each other like, this is different, but it's good,
Yeah.
And yeah, it's so underrated. I just heard it again. I was like, fuck, I want something like this again from them. I really want something like that from them.
So the Bad Religion album was called The Empire Strikes First, and the reason I thought it was Los Angeles is Burning is because that was the single.
Yeah.
So I wasn't being an asshole on my phone. I was listening to Rick. I was checking something because I wanted to get the information right.
Yeah, I think I put a note in that in our YouTube stuff about looking at phones. Did I? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I did. No, actually, I didn't.
But yeah, that's a good album too. You should give that a shot. It's definitely heavily on the political side, also. Yeah. But yeah, man,
that's music corner.
I love music. Like music is the thing I identify with the most in my life. You and I always talk about it, but we never really get a chance to do a lot of in-depth stuff because again, it's so subjective.
It is. It is.
It's one of those things where, like I said, it's not necessarily technical proficiency. It's time and place. And I don't just mean like where you are when you're listening. I mean like where you are in life, where your personality is, where your mindset is. But yeah, I like to sort my music autobiographically.
Oh yeah. Might have to give that movie another watch.
Yeah.
Video juegos.
Yeah.
Got a lot.
I mean, it's all impression stuff, so that's a nice change. We're not just staring at trailers and then telling you what we think about them.
I kind of wanted to put the trailers aside and be more talky, so this is a good episode.
Cool. But yeah, I've been playing some games. You've been playing some games.
Oh yeah.
And I guess I can go first. So I played the most Rick game I'll ever play.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, you finished it?
No, I didn't finish it.
Oh.
I'll tell you what it is in a minute. It's pretty awesome. And I think it's getting a bum rap. I also don't think I'd pay full price for this game.
Okay.
And that's the new one by Volition, Agents of Mayhem, from the people that made you Saints Row 3 and 4.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
No. But man.
Agents of Mayhem.
Yeah.
You mentioned that to me. So
it is a little bit Saints Row, a little bit Crackdown.
Never played Crackdown.
Crackdown's a really fun game. And it's got this thing that Deep Silver likes to do in their games. Going back to Call of Juarez, the modern day one, I can't remember what it was called. So here's the problem with this game: it's not a multiplayer game. There's no online co-op. If this game had online co-op, I would say, "Yo, dude, we need to get this game and play it together like we did Saints Row 3 and 4." But it takes so many different genres and kind of throws them together. It takes the idea of like a hero shooter like an Overwatch, and you have all these different characters to pick with all these different skills, but it also brings in an open world map based in Seoul in Korea.
Oh, okay.
And you are a group of people, the Agents of Mayhem, and you're there to take out the bad guys who are trying to take over the city. And there's 3, 6, 9, 12, I think 12 characters to unlock and play as. And I found one that I think is really cool and I think you'll like. Her name is Rama, and she's a ranger. She's a bow and arrow character. Cool. And it's really fun. But yeah, so it takes like the ideas of like a hero shooter, an RPG, and an open world storytelling game, and kind of tries to smash all these things together. And for the most part, it's really fun. I really enjoyed what I played of it. I played about 3 hours of it, and really, really liked what I was playing, but I was like, man, but I see why people don't want to pay $60 for this. The way games have gone, you either paying that $60 for like this super focused, fleshed out 15, 20 hour single player campaign, or you're paying the $60 for the online games that bring you back in with downloadable content and new maps and new characters and new guns. So like there's definitely a division between those things right now. And in the middle, you have games like Agents of Mayhem that try to bring those two things together. And it doesn't necessarily work so good on the story. It doesn't necessarily work so good on the multiplayer aspect, even though it's not real multiplayer. You take a team of 3 characters out into the field to accomplish these missions, but you can swap between the characters at any time.
Oh, I see.
So,
okay.
And there's like heavy gunners, there's stealthy kind of characters, there's, I won't call them magic characters, but characters that use finesse to get past things or get through areas. And so your best bet is to take one of each with you and not overload on one thing. And there are certain things that only this type of character can, like a heavy gunner, can break. There are certain things that only this guy that uses energy with their weapons can take down.
They all have their own skills.
Yeah, they'll have their own skills and their own classes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So there's kind of like a Destiny element where you
like
have 3 separate guns. You have your elemental gun, you've got your bullets gun, and you've got your heavy gun. So which is basically your 3 types of characters here. And I really, really enjoyed it, but all I kept thinking was, man, Rick would love this game. Rick would love this game because it's kind of like, aside from the structural damage stuff like from Just Cause 3, it's got that kind of vibe to it.
Really like.
It's got that kind of vibe to it. And the writing is funny because it's the guys from Volition. It's not the same people. A lot of people who made Saints Row 3 and 4 left Volition after 4 came out just because they wanted to do something new. But this definitely has that vibe to it. It's very fun.
Oh, something to check out.
Rent it from Redbox. I got it through GameFly, and I played about 3 or 4 hours of it in the span of like one sitting. And then I was like, well, I'm going to be gone all weekend, so I better set it back and get my next game on the way to me so I can have it next week. But yeah, all I kept thinking was, oh man, Rick would love this game. Rick would fucking love this game. Oh my, wow, Rick is gonna love this game. And like, so you need to play it and tell me if I'm right, because I enjoyed what I was doing. But it's only like $40 now, so if you want to buy it. I think it's a good $40 game. I just don't think I could pay. If it was $30, I'd be all fucking in. Yeah. But yeah, it was one of those games that tried to sell at $60 right out of the gate, and people were like, no. It's not the best looking game, but it's got a cool look to it. It's not quite Borderlands art, but it's somewhere in the middle. It's not super photorealistic, and it's not super cartoony looking. It's like somewhere in the middle. Like
Scanner Darkly type.
That's the best thing I can say about this game is about every aspect of this game. It's not the worst and it's not the best. It's like somewhere in the middle.
Like just a plain good time.
Yeah, this is a good like 6 or 7 out of 10. This is a fucking, if I ever played a 3 out of 5 game, this is a fucking 3 out of 5 game, man. Like, but I had a lot of fun with it. So
well, that's what matters.
Yeah, and I think you really would too. You should check it out, man.
Check Redbox.
Yeah. Did you have a game you want to talk about? What have you been playing?
I mean, I just got Mario Odyssey. Mm-hmm. Holy fuck. Is that game so good?
That's a thing, huh?
It's a thing. Everyone's going to be saying this. Bryce is going to be saying this. They're just so, like, first off, like, I only got about maybe 2 hours of gameplay into it.
Yeah, it just came out. It's Saturday. It just came out yesterday. Rick worked yesterday.
Yeah, and I did actually stream it, so if you want to go to my channel and check it out, I'm on twitch.tv/RickWeasel. Mm-hmm. Gameplay should be on there. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it, man. It's just I'm not gonna, this is not gonna be a full review. I'm just gonna cover on little things because I want Bryce to be here too, just so I can echo.
Well, yeah, and also you'll probably want to get way more of that game.
And
I
want to get more of it done. But like just a taste of it from the beginning to where I'm at now was so good. It's just it feels like, I mean, of course it's a Mario game, but it feels like an old Mario game that you just pick up the controller and you can just start playing without having to know what controller does what, if that makes any sense. You know, like I know like the classic, 2 buttons and a thumb joypad or
Yeah.
whatever. You know, it kind of feels that way. I mean, yeah, it has that 3D aspect of it, like with Mario 64 or whatever. That was the first 3D one, right?
Yep,
Dimensional
Mario
one?
64.
Yeah.
And then
so,
Mario Sunshine, which gets a bum rap.
I've never really played 64. I think I
Really?
rented it. And I just couldn't get into it because the three-dimensional stuff just, for some reason, I couldn't comprehend it in my brain. I don't know why. And playing this, like, I can kind of had that feel too. Not I couldn't play because of the three-dimensional thing. I'm just saying, like, it's like a polished, obviously, because it's total generation away.
3 generations
Three
away.
generations away, yeah. But it just feels like a game you can pick up and play without not knowing how to play a game.
This would be the 4th.
Yeah, technically.
GameCube, Wii U, Switch.
I'm just trying to put in the distance of time.
Yeah. I mean, just say 20 years. It's 20 years.
Yeah, that's right. 20 years. Fuck, we're old. Yeah, and it felt like an old friend picking up, getting the controller. It's just you could just play it. You just pick it up and play it.
Mm-hmm.
And the Pro controller is great. I saw you can do that stuff, but
The motion.
Fuck that.
Don't do it.
Not for this game. For this game,
Don't do it.
it's good for other games. I mean, don't get me wrong, but like, there's just something with that.
It's not.
Okay, well, maybe for you. Maybe for you.
No, it's not.
But for this, like, I like the handheld, you know, the Pro controller in my hand.
Have you played it all in Switch mode? Like,
no, I have the Pro controller.
I know, but have you? Oh, is that all you did yesterday? Okay,
Yeah,
you'll have to play it just with
the Switch
the
mode?
Switch and see.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I guess I should.
not separated, but like on the screen itself,
Yeah.
like a portable. You know,
Oh,
portable mode.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sure I will.
I'm sure you will on your lunch break.
On my lunch breaks.
Roll
Yeah.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's so many like familiar characters, you know, all the bad guys you see, pretty much new bad characters that try to stop you. I mean, like, there's parts in the game where I don't know if it's like there's spoilers for video games. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, if it's a story.
Okay, I'm not going to talk about that.
If you're gonna
you
talk
already
about,
know the story.
We're gonna talk about throwing your hat and taking things over.
No,
They've
but there's
already
just like
talked about
little,
that.
like even nods to things from past games.
Have you been to New Donk City?
I've not. No.
Oh,
Not yet.
okay.
I'm where am I at Lake something right now? But it's fun throwing the hat on other characters and turning into those characters. I turned into a Goomba. I turned into a frog. That was fun. The frog is fun. I turned into a T-Rex.
Nice.
That was so much
With
fun.
the mustache and everything, yeah.
You just start destroying everything.
That's one of the things they showed in like one of their last trailers.
Right, that's the only reason why I mentioned it, because it's in the trailers too. That was so much fun, just running and like destroying everything.
Sounds like it, man. I need a Switch.
Fuck. And like even like I mean, I don't really give a shit about reviews too much, but like 10 out of 10 I'm hearing, and like a lot of pretty good scores.
I hope it's as. This is gonna sound super cynical coming from me because I'm usually the guy that is the fucking cynical one on the show, especially when it comes to video games. I hope that this, because I haven't played this and I haven't played Breath of the Wild. I hope these games are as good as people are giving them credit for, and they're not just jaded by it being Nintendo, and these games being completely different than what we've got from the last 2 generations. Because all the stuff in Zelda, which seems like an amazing fucking game. So I'm not taking anything away from this game because I haven't played it. But everything I've read about it, everything I've heard about it on podcasts, seems like this is a great fucking game that's doing things games have been doing for 15 years. And Mario's a completely different story. I haven't touched it. I haven't even read any reviews or heard any reviews of it yet. But I hope it's not the Nintendo rose-colored glasses. I genuinely hope these games are that good, because this is the first Nintendo console since the GameCube that I plan on getting, because I want to play a good Mario Kart again. And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is by all rights fantastic.
You played it, right?
I played 8 on the Wii U. I haven't played Deluxe yet.
Okay.
I really love the portable aspect. You guys know me. I'm a diehard Vita guy. The PlayStation Vita was the coolest fucking thing to happen to mobile gaming, because the games were so fucking good. And when I can't sleep at night, I would pop open my Vita, and I'd play Hot Shots Golf, or I'd play, you know, Gran Turismo PSP, which ported over to the Vita pretty easily, or I'd play Uncharted Golden Abyss, which is a game I loved, and I know it gets a lot of hate.
We gotta play that.
It's a really good game.
Yeah.
But like the prospect of being able to lay down in bed and play a full-on fucking Mario game, or a full-on fucking Zelda game, or a full-on Mario, as good as the DS Mario Karts were, a real full Mario Kart game, like that prospect alone is the thing that makes me want one real bad. Because like when my wife is watching Walking Dead or whatever show she watches that I don't like,
pull out your Switch.
I can pull out my Switch and play whatever I want. Right now, I usually pass the time by watching, you know, wrestling stuff off the WWE Network on my Kindle, or YouTube videos or something like that. But yeah, it would be really nice to be able to have that thing and play that. And I definitely plan on getting one. I just don't know when. I'm one of those dudes that...
You can find them now, but I know you need time.
Yeah, I need a price drop.
Sometimes you can find them.
Yeah.
Black Friday.
Maybe
There'll be a price drop on Black Friday.
I doubt it. Nintendo products don't usually do that, unless it's
still
like
kind of early for a price
well,
drop.
even that, it would be like, come to Target and get this bundle.
They want to put you on a bundle,
and it's $500 instead of $900, and it's like, no, that's still $500 fucking dollars. No.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, I hope these games are as good as everybody's giving them the credit for. 10 out of 10, that's an awesome fucking score. But again,
I wouldn't call myself like a Nintendo fanboy, and I don't think I have those glasses, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I just want to play a good game.
There you go.
And that's what I'm getting right now. And it's a Nintendo game, you know.
That's a good thing, though.
And it's no, I know, but I don't want to make this sound like a negative,
right?
But and again, I just started playing, it could get a lot worse. Not the game. I'm saying
this particular aspect.
Battles. Like I've already had like 3 boss battles, and they were really easy.
That's what I'm hearing.
Like. That's it?
That's the only thing I've really heard from like Kind of Funny Games Daily.
They said the same thing?
That it feels easy, but
I'm having a fucking good time playing.
I don't care. The only thing difficult about Mario 64 was getting a handle on the 3D aspect of the world. And once you got that game wasn't hard either. There are hard parts to it, like I'm sure there will be on here, that come way later.
I have a feeling I'm going to be at a hard part because I stopped the game because I had a little trouble.
Okay.
Like, we're going to record
man,
that should set up.
And you got to remember, like, Nintendo makes games for kids. Like, Nintendo has always been, for me, the thing you go to when people say, I got kids, what's a good game to get them? Because I get that a lot from people in my family because they know I am the one to talk to in the family about video games. And I would say, get them Nintendo games. Don't get them the fucking SpongeBob for Nintendo. Get them Mario. Get them Pokemon. Get them, because those are games with a lot of depth. But they're also, like you said, I can pick up the controller and immediately know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it's not a knock on them, and that's not me like belittling Nintendo games or Mario's, but those are the games you pick up when you want to show somebody video games. Be like, this is why I love video games. Play Mario Brothers, and it'd be like, oh, I'm just running from left to right. But then it's like, I'm running left to right, but I gotta dodge these dudes, and then I gotta get this power up, and then I gotta go up this thing, and I gotta jump here, and it immediately becomes a thing. Like, it could be super easy and basic, or it can be super hard depending on the way you choose to tackle it. And that's what I love about Nintendo.
Yeah, and I can tell you this though, getting to the boss is, I think that's where you find more the challenge. The
platforming. What's supposed to be challenging in these games.
Okay. Well, you guys are more, I've played video games for a long time, but I think
Mario 64, the hardest part of that game was getting to where you needed to go because of the way the levels were designed. And that was the fun of the game.
And I'm having fun trying to get to that part.
Yeah.
And getting to that part. And once I'm there and I hit the boss battle, I just didn't find that challenging.
Yeah. For me, like with Mario games,
the point getting there was challenging.
The boss battle was always the nice reward for all the hard work you did to get there. Check this out. Now you get to destroy this dude. Like,
yeah. And that's how it felt because those fuckers would keep fucking teasing you and pissing me off.
Oh, Mario. I really want to play that game. I really do want to play that game.
That's like these 4, like I guess look like wedding planners for Bowser that you have to eventually
That's
battle. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Cool.
It's so much fun.
I'm happy. I'm so happy that.
And
Nintendo
I
is killing
really
it.
had no expectations for it. Like I've heard like, okay, it's a Nintendo game. I'm sure everyone's gonna say it's really good, and you know, and not doing that as a sarcastic like really good. I'm just saying, like, yes, Nintendo puts out good games. You know.
That and for the
And
longest
that's a great
time,
thing.
for the longest time, you could count on that.
Yeah.
But that kind of changed with the Wii U. That Star Fox game was junk.
I never played the Star Fox game.
It was not good.
But this is making me nostalgic
Cool.
to like the fucking classic Nintendo, the classic Mario, to Mario,
World.
Super Mario World, yeah,
That was then the Super Nintendo.
SNES, yeah, and yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's fucking silly, it's goofy, it's everything you want from a Nintendo game.
Very cool.
And I'm
man.
having a lot of fun with it.
That's
But
sweet.
I still got a lot more. This is not like an official review or anything. Because
Yeah.
Bryce has definitely lots to say. I'm sure I've said things that I got wrong. But for the most part, fuck it. I'm having fun.
That's awesome, man.
I'm having a lot of
That's
fun.
really cool. So the other game I've been playing a lot of lately is Gran Turismo 6, which at this point is like a 5-year-old game. And it was on PS3.
6. Oh, okay.
So Gran Turismo just came out with a new game, new entry in the franchise called Gran Turismo Sport. And that game is heavily driven towards competitive driving. Like they want you to drive clean. They want you to don't do anything that will make you look bad on the racetrack. Like that's a line from it. And I played the beta a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
And it is the most amazing driving game you'll play. And that's the way those games always are. The driving always feels great and spot on. But my problem with it is it took out the stuff I loved about Gran Turismo. I love driving production cars. I love having something to race for. I love having to earn money to buy cars,
Right.
to go to the next class and bump up and bump up and bump up. And they've completely restructured all that stuff because the focus for this game is online. Online. To the point where if you don't have an online connection, all you can do is arcade mode races. You can't do anything else. And which is not necessarily saying much because the career mode in the traditional sense is not there. It's a game where it's kind of taken a lot of things and smushed them together. Like one of my favorite parts about Gran Turismo is doing the license tests, where it's like you can't get in the B class without getting your B license. You can't get in the A class without getting your A license. And it was so fun, and you had to get a bronze or better. You had to get third place or better to get the license. And it was a string of tests that you had to do. And like the first ones are easy. It's like accelerate. You have to accelerate and brake within this spot in a certain amount of time. Then get this part of a track done in a certain amount of time. And you know, it's all these things that are teaching you how to play the game, essentially. And then you got your B license. Now you can drive B events. And you've earned all this money from the driving test, so now you go buy the car that you want to drive in these tests, in these races. And it's always like, this is a front-wheel drive, front-engine race. So you can only use cars that have a front-mounted engine and are front-wheel drive. Then there's front-engine, rear-wheel drive. And then there's mid-engine, rear-wheel drive, and all-wheel drive. And then you have like this, the cars can only weigh up to this much. The cars can only be this long. And so it's all these cool different parameters.
Oh, that's technical.
Yeah, and they have all the stats when you click on a car to see if you want to buy it or not that you need to know to buy those cars. And that's what I loved about Gran Turismo is like you got really deep into car culture and you learned a lot about cars. I learned a lot about cars as a kid playing Gran Turismo. And I missed that stuff. I got really hyped. I was like, yeah, first game on PS4, Gran Turismo, okay, sport. They got the FIA license. That's cool. They've used this before as a tool to get people into actual race driving to where they have a contest called GT Academy where it takes the best players with this specific car on this specific track then brings them together in the real world, puts them in that real car on that real track, and the winner of the Gran Turismo Academy becomes a professional race car driver. And they've actually done this several times where there's people who race in touring races, there's people who race F1, there's people who got into that business because of Gran Turismo. And it's really cool. And so they're heavily doubling down on that with this game. And that's cool, but then they took out all the shit I like. So instead of having like this massive 800 cars inventory, it's 150. But it's all super high-end race cars. There's still some production cars, but it's not like... It's like Lamborghinis and Ferraris and Porsche for the first time is in a Gran Turismo game. And it's like, but I don't drive those. I like driving the fucking Toyota Celica around Laguna Seca. Like, that's what I like to do. I like to get a Nissan 240SX. And I like to drive around the Tokyo 2048 route. I like to drive Suzuka track, but I like to drive it in a Mini Cooper. Like, I don't... That's what I love about.
So they're focusing more on the high end.
Super high end, super focused. And so I played that beta for the 3 or 4 days that it was up, and the driving felt so good. I was like, man, I really wish I had a Gran Turismo game on PS3 because I had gotten rid of them. I was like, well, let me see how much they are if they're digital. 6 is digital on PSN, and it's $15. Okay. So I was like, that's $15. Maybe I'll get it. And then I saw I had $5 left in my Sony wallet. I was like, ooh, so it's only $10. Even though I put that money there.
Right.
But it's
the logic.
The logic is it's only $10. So I bought it.
I've gone that way too.
And I've been playing that. I've been playing the shit out of that game because it's got the traditional career mode the way I like it. It changed up the license test stuff a little bit, which is they did it in a great way. And the reason I want to talk about this is because I did this terrible ordeal to play it. So first it's like, okay, the game's 15 gigs. PS3 download speeds are awful because their pipeline is so narrow. So I downloaded the game, and I was like, okay, now let me run the updates. So I ran the updates, and I went to start it. And then once you run the updates, when you boot the game up, after a certain version or whatever, it has to run the updates within the game to get the online clearance thing for it, which is fine. I was like, well, that's going to take a while, no problem. So we went out, got dinner, came back. I was like, well, that's weird. That's okay. It was like 20 gigs of stuff that I had to download as patches for over the course of the last 3 years that the game's been out or whatever. So I think it's 3 years old, actually. And I was like, well, that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of data for it to parse and put it in. And then I started looking things up. They're like, oh, don't download the whole batch of things because then it never loads. And I was like, but it's loading. I see it. It's installing it's taking a long ass time, but it's installing. So I go, I got a fan pointed at I got a fan in my room, a floor fan, and I was like, it's not hot today. I'll turn it and face it towards the PlayStation so it doesn't get hot and blows all the hot air off. And I'll leave it on overnight when I go to bed, and by the morning when I wake up, it should be fine. So I go to bed, I wake up, and I was like, the PlayStation's off. That's weird because it shouldn't have turned off. It should just be on idling. And then, so I turn it on, and then I boot up the game, and it boots up. And I was like, oh, cool, so all the updates happened. All right, not a problem. And then it was just on a black screen. I was like, that's weird. And then I looked up deeper into this thread, and so you want to hear the process I had to do? There was 21 updates to do.
Jesus Christ.
I had to turn my internet connection on the PS3, download, because it's like, oh, you have a batch of 21 updates. We're going to hit you with the earliest one first. We'll install it, and then the next one, then we'll install it, and the next one, and we'll install it. And I was like, okay. I had to download 21 updates individually, ranging in sizes from 38 kilobytes to 6 gigs.
Fuck.
Most of them were about 1.5 gigs a piece. So that was the average, I would say, is about 1.5 gigs. So I had to it would download the patch, the first patch, so version 1.001, install it, then I had to stop. And then I had to turn off my internet connection. So then I had to boot up the game, and the game would apply the update. Because if you turn on the game with the internet connection still on, it would go, hey, there's a later version. You need to download all these things. So I had to turn it off, and then just unplug the Ethernet cable.
Right.
Run the update in the game, back out of the game, plug the Ethernet cable back in. I had to do this 21 times. So
worth it by the time.
It was, because the game's fucking amazing.
All right. Jesus.
But here's the kicker. So I did this all 2 Sundays ago when I was home alone. My wife and kids were at Disney. I was at home relaxing. I was like, I'll take this whole day. I'll update Gran Turismo 6 and I'll play it. I got to update 17. Get to update 17. Go over, and if anybody has done this before on a PlayStation where you have to check for updates on PS3, you hit triangle, a little sidebar pops up, and you scroll down to check for updates. Guess what option is right above check for updates? Delete.
Oh my god, no.
So I'm going over, I go down, and go to check for updates, go to what I think is check for updates and click it, and I've already been preconditioned over the last 6 hours to go, it's a click to check for updates, and it's a click to go into the updates. It's also click to delete, are you sure you want to delete? And then I realized what was happening, and I was like, oh no! And because it was a digital version of the game, I had to re-download the initial base game, which was 15 gigs, and then start the update process all over again from scratch. So, yeah.
Not worth it in my
It
opinion.
was a fucking ordeal. But once I got done, and I got into Gran Turismo 6 and started playing it, I was like, yeah, this is what I want. This is what I want. So I've been playing the crap out of Gran Turismo 6, and if anybody has a PS3, and you've never played Gran Turismo 6, and you like racing games, you should buy it. But look online for this process, because it's very important that you do this process, because if you don't, if you stack updates, it won't update. It'll just error out, and your console will turn off.
Wow, man. That's... I can't believe you've been through that.
But on a side note, because of GameFly, I'm actually... Gran Turismo Sport shipped today, so I should have it by Monday or Tuesday. And I'm going to play the shit out of it. I understand it's not what I like. And I know I just got done saying, hey, Gran Turismo Sport isn't anything that I like about Gran Turismo except for the actual driving. But I'm going to rent it through GameFly. I'm going to play it for a week. And in that week, I'll probably put 8 or 10 hours into it and play the shit out of it just to see how I really feel before I give like a review. Because based on the beta, the driving was great and all that stuff, but I'm never going to play this game online. I don't go to Gran Turismo for online racing. I think it's fun. And the other thing I don't understand why they went this way is because they have all this telemetry. And I played a lot of Gran Turismo 5 and 6 online. And every race I ever matched into, nobody was driving the super high-end race cars. Really? Nobody was driving the F1 style cars. Nobody was driving the NASCARs. Everybody was driving production cars that they put parts into to make better, but it wasn't like, whoa, now this 180 horsepower, Toyota Sprinter now has 300 horsepower. It was like, oh, it's booted up a little bit. And they changed stuff like so you can drift, and like they changed the limited slip differential, and they changed the front end, and they changed the drive shaft to make it carbon fiber so the car is lighter. And it's things like that. It's things that people who buy production cars and like to tune do. And I just nobody ever raced in the super high end race cars in the Grand Touring cars or anything like that. So based on all that telemetry they have from 2 games being online, you would think, oh, we better double down on these things that people like. Instead, they go the complete opposite way, and it's like there's only high-end production racing car or production cars. There's only high-end race cars. There's only these F1 cars. There's only these race cars.
That's funny.
It's like, but why? You have all this information about the way people play your game. Nobody races like that. Nobody does that stuff.
I wonder if it has something to do with sponsorships, maybe, or deals with the car
I
companies?
guess that FIA sponsorship was really important to them, which is the racing governing body. It's kind of like the FIFA of auto racing. So it's like the governing body. So I guess that was really important to them, and that's cool. I just hope when we get Gran Turismo 7, when we get a real sequel, that it's got all the stuff in it that I like.
Drive a Toyota Corolla.
Dude, I had fun driving a fucking 2005 Toyota Prius the other day in Gran Turismo 6.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, like if I were to play a game like that, I would probably do the same.
Yeah.
Then maybe I'll drive the high-end car for just to test it out. But like the point of the game is building your car.
Starting from the bottom,
Yeah.
earning your way up to the top, And if
And
you like those cars, and modifying the cars to get there. So
stupid, silly little Mini Cooper to like be this fast as shit
race car,
yeah.
but not fast like a race car.
Yeah,
but
fast
like a street
enough
car.
to go fast. Yeah.
So like, I used to play this Gran Turismo 4 a lot with Lawrence because it had split screen, and he always picked this Mazda RX-7 or RX-8.
I think it's an RX-8, right?
Well, no, there's RX-7s and RX-8s, but he'd always pick this Mazda RX-8 that was a Grand Touring race car, like a road race car. And I always picked my Nissan 300ZX that I had souped up to have about 350 horsepower, and I'd put sports tires on and treated it like I would if I owned a 300ZX. I'd put this turbo in it, I'd swap out this engine, I'd put these brakes, I'd put this, like what I would do if I had money in that car. And I always whooped his ass because he didn't know how to handle the race cars. So he would take off on the straightaways and just completely whiz by me, and then he'd get into the corners and have to slow down, and I would just whoop right around him in the corners, and he never beat me when he had the race car and I had my production car with the cool parts on it.
That's funny.
Yeah. And I want to go back to that again. And I want Gran Turismo 7 to be a thing that's happening, and I hope it does because, man, I love those games. If I did a list of favorite franchises of all time in video games, that would be in the top.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I don't know how much you love those games.
Yeah. Speaking of favorites lists and stuff like that, I'm actually going to start doing an Anchor thing like you did. But I want to post-produce it.
Slacking on it. Yeah.
I don't want to use my headphones from my phone or use a speaker on my phone. I want to post-produce it. And what I'm going to do there is, in short form, my favorite games of the last generation. I talked about this with you. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to start writing out like outlines for each game. That way I have something to go off of. Not scripts necessarily, but outlines. And then, yeah, hopefully I'll start recording and producing those next weekend.
Yeah.
And that'll be fun.
You could upload a strip from the website.
Yeah. I already did that. I also sent them email considering like using your own music beds and stuff like that because I know a guy who makes music. And I was like, yo, dude, I think I might want at least one of your beats because I want some music behind it. And that's the other thing I don't like about doing it from the phone is you can't adjust.
Yeah,
so
you can't adjust the... Yeah, I don't like that.
It's bad. And then like I want to post-produce it because if it's aggregated in like video game content, people are like, oh, I want to see what people talk about in video games, and mine comes up, and all these podcasts come up with people talking to their Apple headsets, and then mine comes up, and it's super slick and post-produced.
Well, there's some others that are really too, but I think the point of Anchor is just because you can do it anywhere. Yeah, that's the point of it. You can use whatever you want. You're straight from the phone with your Apple headset or headphones or whatever.
And I totally get the ease of use thing.
That's fair enough, you know. I totally forgot what I was going. Oh yeah, Anchor. Come on, man. Got to be able to adjust the volume of the background music because that is bugging me so much. That's why I kind of stopped using it. Although I don't like to talk when there's no background. I don't like the sound of my voice, so I want that background music on it. But yeah, and I don't think I would want to go to that length that you would, just because like I want this to be something quick.
And also the way you're doing it is probably the way they intend. The way I'm going to do it is going to try and push traffic to our podcast.
Well, that too, and that's always good too. I try to plug it in.
Yeah, so like the whole point would be like this is a 5-minute boiled down version of like the type of conversations we would get into, and and it's one of those things where I can sit down for a couple of hours and record a shitload of 5-minute things in Audacity, and then spend a couple more hours adding a music bed and post producing, and then have shit like, okay, it's Monday, I'll put that one up. Tuesday, I'll put that one up. Like just have it ready to go.
Yep. Any other thing?
I think that's it, man.
Okay. I was gonna say we'd get more Destiny, but we kind of already talked enough.
I want to wait till we
plus
finish.
We're already over our time,
and I want to wait till we finish the single player aspect,
that's
the storyline aspect, and then we'll talk about that.
All right, so that's gonna do it for this week.
Yep.
Yeah, we were gone a week, but now we're back. So hopefully you are still around.
Yep.
If you like the show, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, consider that. We're on YouTube. Some Shit We Like. Just search youtube.com/Some Shit We Like. Twitter @Some Shit We Like. And watch us on Twitch Live every Saturday most of the time. usually in the afternoonish,
Mm-hmm.
Pacific. We put up the show Tuesday through Friday. Friday being the full video show. Audio show goes up on Tuesday, and little clips in between. So enjoy that. Until next time.
That was some shit we like.